Hello everybody, JD Golden Boy back with another chapter review. Chapter 1031 just dropped and I had a great time reading it. If you stick with me through the entire video, at the end I'll explain a little bit of a tinfoil hat theory I have about Kid's new power and something that you probably didn't notice, but Ushimaru was in this chapter. So stick around, I'll show you where he was. But before we do all of that, shout out to the 100 subs. I had a goal just a couple days ago, and I told my friends and myself by next Friday on the break week, I would love to see if I can get to 100 subs. And I woke up this morning on this Friday, and I have 100 subs already. So I just want to thank you guys all so much. I'll keep the theories coming. I'm having a lot of fun working on these Blackbeard theories, and I have a couple of different things in my head. I've never seen anyone do this particular theory that I'm working on before, and I have a friend that's going to teach me how to do some video editing. I also ordered a laptop and finally a higher quality studio mic, so you don't have to deal with the slideshows and this microphone. So expect to see some high quality videos coming very soon. But thanks for sticking with me before I learned how to do all of this stuff. You first 100 subs are my homies, so thanks. But anyway, let's get into the chapter. So before we even get into the main content of the chapter, we have a nice little color spread here. And to be honest, it took me longer than it should have to notice that these are the right-hand men, the first commanders of each of the major pirates and revolutionaries and whatnot. And one thing that kind of stood out to me is that Shiryu is now confirmed, or at least, through this color spread, to be Blackbeard's right-hand man. We always kind of figured, but it's nice to see him up there with Katakuri and Silver's Rayleigh and Zoro and everybody. Also, Beppo's just chilling, but man, he is outclassed. Beppo is there's a big difference between him and all of the others. So we pick up right where we left off in the last chapter. Big Mom's under a pile of rubble. Law and Kid are both gassed. They're like, take that. Whew. Now we finally got her. There's no way that she survived that. Spoiler alert, she did. Of course she survived that. She throws all of the rubble off of her, and everyone is so shocked that she's getting up and she survived that. And she is pissed. She sees all of the fodder around her, and she takes all of their souls out, and she starts reanimating the rubble, and also she takes part of her own soul and powers up with it. So she not only did she get more powerful, but she also increased in size. And this is going to be a problem for Law and Kid, especially because they're gassed. They just used their last ditch awakening. Oh, balls to the wall. It's dangerous, but we have no other choice. And yeah, it hurt Big Mom, but now she's on a new level. She came out, and I love this for Big Mom because normally, like I said, I'm a Big Mom hater. She's so goofy. She's not like I didn't think she was a good villain. I like to see her be evil now. She's got some dark, sadistic, twisted plans here with them. She's Trafalgar and Kid. You two are really serious about taking our thrones and Luffy? Then bring it on. If you think you have a shot, I'll show you what it means to be an emperor. And something to point out here is the difference between Law and Kid. Law says, I'll need to take down monsters like you if I ever want to uncover the true history. And Kid says, no more holding back, we're going all out. I don't give a damn what it costs. I'm going to tear her from her throne. So it's just kind of a cool thing to notice the difference between their two goals. Like Law says he wants to be the Pirate King, but he really doesn't. That's not his number one goal. He doesn't really care about that. But moving forward, we pick up with Drake and Apu, and we see Apu is kind of sweating here because Drake saw right through all of his BS, and he's like, no, I'm not going to align with you. What are you talking about? And then Apu is now realizing that, well, if Drake's not going to line up with me, Yamato just came in. It's time to switch the script. I'm going to try to work Yamato a little bit. So even though I don't like Apu that much, that's pretty good for his character. It shows that he's hustling and he's got some master plan. I still want to see what exactly it is that he wants to do. He did say to the numbers, like, we need to get Yamato on board after her, and I don't know what what he's trying to get her on board of. What is his ultimate plan? I'm not really sure. I mean, I guess the obvious answer would be to take down Kaido, but I feel like it's something more than just that. And another thing to notice is that Fuga starts chasing Yamato as well, but we'll get into that a little bit later. So, finishing from there, we see a bunch of fire, and we see the Minks say, "Run, Baron Corpse, Brook. Protect Nico Robin. The CP0 are right here, and they are menacing with their silhouettes. It is nerve-wracking to see up close, and it is time for Brook to get the fuck out of there. Like, I always want to see Brook get a fight. I want to see Brook take down somebody, but now is not the time. Brook versus the CP0, maybe 1v1, but the CP0, we learned the masked ones, they're even among the elites. The masked ones are in a class of their own, says Robin. So I don't want to risk that, Brook. Like, that's a good fight, but we need to get Robin away because we have an entire agency with their only sole goal is to take Nico Robin away. So let's just not even mess around with that. Let's let the Minks take care of him. We just got to get you out of here. So that's what he does. He starts to run, and it's okay. Hopefully he gets away. A thought that I had is, I know that Jinbei's doing okay. There were two CP0 members there. All of the Straw Hats, pre-time skip got to fight to get Robin back from the world government. It'd be interesting to see if Jinbei and Brook are going to fight those two CP0 members to defend Robin as well. So then that way it'll come full circle. But we'll see more on that later. Then we get to the main part of the chapter. It focuses in on Sanji. Sanji is in the pleasure hall, and everybody is yelling at him. They say, "How could you do that to her? She's just a young girl. What did you do?" And he's like, "I could never. That wasn't me. I didn't do anything." And you see that there's this girl who's battered and bleeding, and he goes, I would never hit a girl. I can't do that." And they don't believe him. They said, "You don't play dumb. You were alone with her. You just were the only person here. Obviously, you were the one that injured her." Sanji has a little flashback to his siblings and how they used to just beat up anybody relentlessly. And Sanji said, "You beat her till she lost consciousness? Your sadism is disgusting." I think that was on Whole Cake Island. And so this is where you start to get a bad feeling about Sanji. Queen pulls up and he's like, "Oh, I finally caught up to you." But Sanji doesn't even care. Sanji's fighting his demons right now. He's thinking back to what just happened. He said he remembers being lost in thoughts, and he came upon this girl, and then he kind of blacked out, and then the next thing he remembered, she was on the floor bleeding. And at this point, I gasped. I screamed. I was like, "Oh my god. Did Sanji actually do this? Did Oda write Sanji to lose control and black out and attack a woman?" And you can see Sanji's disturbed. And he asks Luffy in his head, "Hey Luffy, which version of me do you want? My human side has always been kind of a drag for the crew. It's made me useless against female pirates and female enemies. But as a soldier of science, I'd be able to execute anyone you ordered me to. Even a beast like Queen would be easy to dismember. What kind of person does the Pirate King need by his side?" And when I was reading that, I just had chills. I did not like that at all. That I was a little disgusted by that. It's like, what is happening to Sanji? But apparently Sanji was too. He said he's made up his mind, and I cheered. He threw down the raid suit, and he stomped on it and destroyed it. So he's made up his mind. The damage may already be done, but he's not going to continue to wear the raid suit. He says goodbye to the Germa. He says goodbye to the women's bathhouses and being invisible. But Sanji's made his decision, and this was kind of the point that we were all wondering: is Sanji ever going to use the raid suit? It's a big power boost, but it's not what he wants. So I'm glad Sanji made a decision. It's kind of sad that what it took to make this decision, the potential of him beating this woman. I don't think that actually happened. I think Oda's trolling us here. I'm not really sure how, but I still don't think that Oda is going to make Sanji beat a woman. That just doesn't match up. And also, the fact that he destroyed the suit, I don't think the suit's gone forever either. I mean, I think Sanji destroyed the suit, but you know what? Now that the red suit is broken, it gives like Frankie a chance to fix it. So maybe maybe the raid suit will be coming back, but it'll be Frankie tech, not Germa tech. Meanwhile, Sanji pulls out the transponder snail and he calls Zoro. We hear ring, 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 and Zoro's visibly confused. He's like, "What the hell? Where did this transponder snail come from?" Sanji had a little moment there when he said, "Oh, I slipped it into your pocket because once you ended up winning, I knew you were going to get lost somewhere." That's just good thinking. And he's sitting there talking to Zoro, and he says, "Zoro, if I come out of this fight and I'm a different person, I want you to strike me down and kill me." And Zoro says, "Understood." And people, I don't know, people don't think Zoro can do it. I think Zoro absolutely would do it because he can tell this is a genuine request that Sanji has. Sanji doesn't want to live somebody else's life. Sanji is himself, and if he loses his humanity, that's it. Like that's the end of his life anyway. And I don't know, this was another one of those moments where you kind of can tell that Zoro and Sanji truly at the end of the day aren't enemies. They aren't really rivals. They are friends. Zoro says, "You better not die." And Sanji's like, "You better not die." They're rooting for each other here. And they really are friends, so it's just kind of nice to see. You love to see the Straw Hats working together, so hopefully they both pull through and they're both okay at the end. But I absolutely, if it came down to it, I think Sanji would have Zoro, kill him, and I think Zoro would honor his friend's request. And then finally, the chapter ends. Sanji does hell memories, and his flames looked even more intense than Fishman Island. To me, it looked almost like a Logia type of fire. The fire was on him. He wasn't just in a fireball, it was like he was a fireball. And he said he was white hot. It'd be interesting to see in the anime adaptation if they're actually going to make the flames white, because everyone was always expecting black flames. So it was interesting. But that was the chapter. Unfortunately, there's a break next week, but Oda deserves his rest. I thought this was a really good chapter. But, yeah, so the MVP. Before the tinfoil, I like to do the MVP. I'd say the MVP, maybe it was a Sanji chapter. I'll give it to Sanji. That makes sense. Just there was a lot of action going on around him, so I had a good time with this chapter. Okay, the part that I really like the most is the tinfoil. Like, what does all of this mean for the future? I like reading One Piece weekly because we could take stuff away and really run with it. So, one thing, Kid. I think that Kid is actually going to take down Big Mom. And that's kind of a hot take. People don't think the Kid's going to take down Big Mom because they think Luffy's going to. I think Kid's going to split the sky in Wano. I don't... Okay, I don't think it's definitely going to happen, but if Kid wants to be Luffy's rival the way Oda's trying to write him to be Luffy's rival, he's splitting the sky. And that would be a really cool plot line to go with. Similarly, we saw Law doesn't really care about all of that power. You need power to rival the future Pirate King's crew. Law doesn't really care about that power. That's not his dream. And his crew isn't really strong enough to rival Luffy's crew either. And that's why Beppo looked out of place in the cover today. Law just wants to know the true history. So if we want to have a situation where it'll be like Roger's greatest rival Shiki, it'd be like Luffy's greatest rival Kid, that would be a really cool avenue to go with this. I'd love to see that. And also, speaking of Law, I don't really see the three of them being in like a three-way rivalry either. Maybe. I guess there is narrative evidence to suggest that, but another potential thing that I could see happen would be someday I think it's destined that Law will be doing that immortality surgery to rescue somebody. I don't know if that'll be Wano, Endgame, or whenever, but I think Law is going to do that. And I could totally see him do that to save Luffy or even Robin, because Robin and Law, in my mind, have the same dreams. And so I could see him doing his immortal life surgery on either one to pass his will forward. He also might just live on and be an ally, but I don't think he'd be much of a rival. So that was the first part. The second part, we were talking about Ushimaru. So I'm assuming you guys have seen the theories online about how the three numbers look like the three samurai from Yamato's flashback. Especially Fuga, the one that was in the middle that started chasing Yamato today. That one would have been Ushimaru, like the one with the white hair, the samurai that is of no consequence, he started chasing Yamato, but he didn't necessarily look aggressive about it. He just said fuga, like that's the only word he could say, but he started chasing her. And it makes me wonder if they really are the three samurai, and Queen experimented on them. And they did the gigantification experiments that they did with Mads, and they turned them into these monsters. Maybe they even like wiped their memory. But just the vision of Yamato, once they all broke out, it's assumed that they were either killed or captured. So the very last memories they have as humans are with this young Yamato. And so when Ushimaru or Fuga sees Yamato, he's like, I know you. And he starts chasing her. He wants to get her attention. That'd be really interesting to see. And maybe it's just a number, but I don't know why this one particular number is going crazy over Yamato chasing her, whereas, the other ones are just chilling. But we'll have to wait and see. I had a really good time with this chapter. I thought it was a good one. I'm looking forward to the next one, 1032. But that'll be in a couple weeks. Hopefully by then, like I said, I'll have my nice microphone set up. I'll have my video editing skills. And like I said, I'm still really excited about some of these theories. And I'm just really excited to see the fast growth. I've gotten a lot of support from you guys. So, please keep it up. Like the theory if you like them. Subscribe. Be haters too. I always take the haters. More engagement's better. But I had a great time so far, and it can only go up from here. So have a great time, everybody. Have a good weekend. Remember, stay golden. Thanks. Bye.